What's going on, guys? It's just afternoon. It's April 6th. And right now, EYES is popping off. I think it's going to keep getting driven down lower. You could see volumes increasing on it as the prices is getting just driven into the ground. It could get a nice snap back up to 10, but it's just best right now to let it set up. It's also, remember, lunch hours. 12:22, everybody's out at lunch. 6.2 million float. We got 16 million in volume. Pretty good breakout on it. Somebody in chat called this out a while ago, pre-market. But how you guys doing today? Hopefully you guys were able to pull out some green today in the market. We had a lot of good opportunities. A lot. EYES is popping off right now. We had one of the top stocks gapping up this morning, SJ. That had a good run from $13 all the way up to $18. It's a good $5 run. We also had ACY continuing every day from $12 to $16. Scroll out. This thing's been in play for 3 days now. And every single day, right out of the open, this thing likes to spike up and surge. We also had a quick snap up on WAFU. Very fast one. From 10 up over 11 to 11.50. A nice $1.50 spike. You can see there on the 10-minute, it's got a big old wedge on it. That's one thing we preach here at Trading Learning 101 and in the chat. Staying focused on stocks that are in play days after. Those are the easy money plays. Stocks like, what was that number one stock yesterday? CEMI? This was the number one stock up on the Gap scanner, and the number one stock everybody was trading and focusing on. Yesterday, CEMI had 264 million in volume. And look what it did. It was just a chop fest all day. Yesterday, we weren't even paying attention to CEMI. There were other good opportunities up on the board. CEMI, on that daily chart, you could just tell there was a lot of conjunction and resistance at that $6 level. We said it in pre-market prep. CEMI, it's not going above 6. It's not. And if it does, it's going to be a miracle. Chances are very slim of it going up and above that. And it came up from 5, ran all the way up to 6. That would have been a good opportunity. But right at 6, and look at all those nasty flushes on it. 50-cent flushes, and then grinds it back up to where it flushed from. This thing failed at 6 like 8, 11 times. And then look at where it's at. It's still getting driven down. Falling down below 5 now. Because something else pops up and grabs people's attentions. Stocks like SJ. There was another stock up on the Gap scanner. BTX. But I told a lot of people, stay away from BTX. BTX is on the American Stock Exchange. You want to stay away from those AMEX stocks, guys. That exchange is very, very strict with their trading. It ran after hours yesterday, and then pre-market it was still up. And then if you notice and pay attention to the details, They didn't put that press release out until 8:15. And the press release wasn't even nothing special. They appointed a new, CEO? Whoop-de-doo. And from there, 8:50, stock drives all the way down to 6. Huge fake out on this too this morning. Look at that. See that upper wick? Right there. So from 8, they rip it up to 8:50, making you think it's going to squeeze and shoot up to $9, $10. From 8:50, they flush it all the way down to 7:50. So getting in on a dollar flush, that's not fun, and that's why we don't chase breakouts. Let's see if that was at 9:45. So if we go back here in today's chat, I told everybody right before it flushed, stay away from it. A lot of people cashed in today on CARA. See right here, today right at 9:45, BTX, we warned in pre-market prep. AMEX stock ran yesterday, no news. They released fluff news this morning. It gets the warning it's got the warning signs all over it. These AMEX stocks will not end well, warning you all. Non-stop. I've been warning you guys non-stop, 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 because all of these AMEX stocks, they're bad. EYES is about to pop. It's gonna pop right up to 1050s, right up to the highs here. So far, pretty good day for me. I'll show you guys real quickly. Total on the day, I'm up $15,000. Traded, I swung ACY from last night after it got driven down all day. I knew it was going to get a good bounce on it. So I sold this morning pre-market, locked in 9.6 thousand. We traded CARA, made 4,000. And I traded WAFU, made almost 1,400. On WAFU, it was just a quick in and out right when the market opened. This thing shot up another $1 after I sold it. This was just a warm-up trade to get going for the day. And then CARA, beautiful opportunity. This was on the pre-market watch list. We set it pre-market. CARA, it had news. It's up at all-time highs. Whenever a stock is up at all-time highs, you want to pay attention to it, because traders love trading and going after stocks that are hitting all-time new highs, 52-week highs. So CARA got in here right at the VWAP around 27. This thing shot all the way up to 28. Jumped in with 9,000 shares, made almost 4,000 on that. And then that ACY one, this one was a crazy one. So ACY, not showing my trades. But ACY, yesterday, I bought in at 1140 is when I purchased it. And I woke up right at 6 a.m. this morning, and it's up here at $15, $16. I have 15,000 shares of it. I was up $45,000, and I couldn't do anything about it because TD Ameritrade pre-market trading doesn't start till 7. So I had to wait and watch this thing painstakingly come all the way down to 1250, pops back up to 14, and then right when it hit 7, all I seen on the tape was just everybody dumping and dumping, and it brought the price all the way down to $12. So I exited out in this 12 area right here, made almost $1 per share, locking in 10K to begin the day. I'll take it. I'd much rather lock something in than hold on to it, hope that it rips back up. ACY is a shady stock to begin with. I don't want to be up, and then what if it didn't continue to hold at 12 and it fell down to 10, 9, and I'm holding 15,000 shares? I don't want to be doing that, especially holding that big of a size going into the open. You know, the price action's all crazy and wild. Nah. I don't know why it's not showing my trades, though. Maybe if I switch the time frame. There we go. So right here, pre-market, I got in at 1140s. I tried trading it earlier. Right here, I tried trading it for a bounce. Took a loss on that. And then I waited and waited and waited. And then I re-entered here at 1140. And then this morning, it ran all the way up. And then right when 7 o'clock hit, right on the dot, I got out of it. I was like, get me out. And then this thing runs all the way back up to 16. So coulda, shoulda, woulda. What if I held? I could play that game. But I'm happy locking in 10K. I mean, most people have to work 2 months, 3 months at hard labor at a job to make that type of money. I made it overnight. I'm happy with that. And then WAFU and then CARA, that's just a cherry on the top. 15K on the day. Yesterday, I didn't do a recap video. Yesterday, things ended pretty slow. I mean, things popped off real fast, and then the rest of the day, nothing really happened. I was done, literally, by like noon, 11:30. I just walked away. I was done. Let me see. I posted my P&L here yesterday. Yesterday, I made 12,000. 12,000, but remember, I took that trade on ACY, so it brought me down to, it was like 7K. I was up on the day. So far, good start to the week. Profit Monday, profit Tuesday. Let's keep it going. We're in a new month. Let's keep the ball rolling. And then a lot of you guys also hit profit yesterday too. We had some personal best I want to shout out real quick. So we got Cupcake here. I took screenshots of these from yesterday. Best day so far. So last week, she just had a best day ever. And now this week, she's had a best day ever. Locking in $1,300 on TKAT. Amazing job. Amazing. It feels really good to see all that hard work starting to pay off. We also had DNA Investments. I made decent, but Cupcake done made my gains look tiny. Hey, gains are gains. If you can lock in something, doesn't matter the size of it every single day, it adds up. Even if it's $100 a day. $100 a day, by the end of the week, that's $500 in your pocket. Most people have to work a week for that, working hard labor at a job they hate. So gains are good. Box cap, I was in TKAT at 38.39, out at 44.48. That's an amazing gain right there. Riding it up multiple dollars. We were all on TKAT yesterday and we just destroyed it. Hawk Driver, I played OCG as well, took 50% off the plate on that push about 9.25. Taking things off, scaling out as the stock pushes up, locking in those profits. It's always a good strategy. Don't be a greedy pig. I got $650 off the OCG sympathy move from TKAT. Good job, Hawk Driver. Laser got a quick move on CEMI, in at 537, out at 578, small 200 shares. That's a good 50-cent scalp for $100. Heck yeah, I'll take $100. So good job to you guys, and then today as well. You guys killed it on a few stocks. We traded that CARA, and I know a lot of you guys killed on it because whenever we make profit, we always give a big howl like a wolf. Irish making $58 on GBR. Let's see, it should be CARA. Nice wedge breakout there. Cupcake's not even trading today, and she made $23. Profit's profit. D-Weezy 92, money in the bag. That's why we're here, teamwork. K-Man. Thanks, brother. Let's go, I'm so pumped for you guys. So everybody who's howling made profit. Thanks for subscribing. Josh MRT, Ow, Hawk Driver, DNA Investments, No Fears. I got an 80-cent push to put me in the green. Thanks for subscribing, New World. Welcome to the community. So No Fears got an 80-cent push on Kara. That wedge was textbook. Kara, let's go. Let's get it. Dub talking about RMO, pushing to 9. Kara, let's go. Right before 12 minutes to 10, I said, Kara, great setup for a surge. Let's take a look at it. Wow, this thing came back. So right here, had a quick pop, pulled back, got up, back above VWAP, formed a nice little wedge right here, perking up. From 27, nice pop, all the way up to $28. Nice $1 rip. And then from that, she collapsed and then grinded all the way back up. And then we got the save on BTX. We warned everybody, pre-market prep. So every morning from 8:50 to 9:20 in the Discord, we all jump in the pre-market prep. I get on, I share my screen, I jump on the mic, and I go over all the stocks that are on my watch list. What's the game plan? What's going on in the market? What am I seeing? BTX, we warned pre-market. Stay away from BTX. And look what happened. Complete just garbage. ACY. We've been warning about ACY for the past 3 days. If this would have kept going out of this wedge right here, the SEC probably would have halted it. And it would have been halted for hours because it's just getting way overextended. And it's running for no reason. And it's on the AMEX. ACY on the AMEX. They would have probably halted it for 2-3 hours, and then they probably would have reopened it at like $8-9. You don't want to take a $7-8 loss per share. That would just blow up your account. Glue6 says, I'm red today, but I saw so many opportunities, just didn't have the confidence to buy. I'm seeing the setups, just need to learn to trust myself a bit. That's something a lot of traders, especially newer traders, struggle with. How many times have you seen a setup and you visualized what it could do, and you got scared and didn't pull the trigger, and it did exactly what you thought? Now, then that has remorse because you didn't pull the trigger, and now you're kicking yourself in the butt, and then a lot of traders will chase after it, and then they'll screw it all up. So a couple things I want to share with you guys today. So I was on YouTube today, and I'm not about bashing other YouTube channels that are out there, but this is something I wanted to point out and talk about in the pre-market prep, but I just didn't get around to it. And I'll pull it up right now. But if you've seen this guy right here, and I've noticed, and I get notified every single time this guy posts a video. And I noticed, like every other day, this dude would be posting a video talking about a stock market crash. And I'm like, what's the deal with this dude? So I started to look into it. And I'm going through his videos here. And I'm even seeing a week ago. 1 week ago, stock market crash. Stocks are broken. Stock market crash. And I'm looking at the views he's got. 8.6 thousand. 7,000. 10,000 views. I'm like, wow, look at this. Warning, the Fed just lost control of the stock market. Tesla stock has a big problem. Stock market crash starting again? Question mark. It gets worse. So then I go to multiple of his videos. And I'm going through here looking. I'm like, well, how many crash videos, stock market crash videos does this dude have? He's got one here. One there. One there. That's 3. The Fed's manipulating the stock market. Talking about GameStop. Stock market crash. Stock market crash. Huge problem with Bitcoin. Stock market crash. Stock market crash. Government ban. Stock breaking now. Sell before crash. So there's 6 stock market crash videos out of 18 videos here. So a third of the videos here are all about stock market crashes. What this guy's doing, and look at this one's got 20,000 views. Stock market crash. What this guy's doing, he's just scaring investors. That's all he's doing. He's chasing after the views and the subs. So he's like one of those little drama queens that's screaming for attention. That's all he wants is attention. So these types of people, they don't really care about you. They don't care about your education. You're just another number to them. This guy's goal is to get views. And when he gets lots of views, that's how he makes his money. Remember, YouTube pays by watch time. So that's just something to think about. And this guy's pretty big out there on YouTube. I think he probably has 250,000 subscribers. So it's just like CNBC, Benzinga, all these big news channels. When the stock market, the S&P 500 starts to go red, the first thing they talk about is stock market crash, because they start to get the investors freaking out and in fear, because this is where they all have their retirement, their money. Someone who's about to retire here in 5 years, they can't afford a crash right now, because it could take 5-10 years for the market to recover from a correction or a crash. So this is just something I wanted to point out. I thought it was interesting and wanted to share it with you guys. People like this, stay far, far, far away from. Because all they're interested in is drama and views. They just want to get your attention. You're going to gain nothing from listening to them. Nothing at all. So ACY, this is still hanging around. I'd be super, super careful with this stock. I've been saying it for the past 3 days. You don't want to be a part of this stock when it gets halted. And I haven't been the only one talking about ACY. If you get on Twitter and look up other good traders out there, they're all given the warning signs as well. It's not going to end well. We also had RMO on the watch list this morning. RMO was an interesting one, because if you look here on the 10-minute, there's a big gap on that 10-minute chart. And we called it out pre-market that RMO, if it gets over $9, it'll fill that gap to $10. And that's what happened this morning. Started to peer off here, bounced off of 850, and then just rallied non-stop all the way up to 10. Pulled back, and then just continued to go, and then held 10 as support. Right there. Holding 10 as support twice. 3 times even. Right there, right there, and right there. And from 10, this could have been a nice 50-cent scalp opportunity. Once right there, then again right there. Multiple opportunities out there today, guys. It's all about being patient and waiting for the setups. And then if you look at ACY and that one stock, KELYB, they follow in sympathy of each other. I can type. So you see how KELYB throughout the day here set up a wedge, and then it faded off. Then it set up another wedge right here, and then faded off. Well, if we switch back over to ACY and zoom out, wedge here from yesterday, faded out. Wedge here today, faded out. So we had, well, I had ACY on watch, and I was watching it right here as it was consolidating and making this wedge. And I told myself, if ACY blows up through that $16, it's going to run to probably $20. But I'm not going to chase after and trade ACY. And I was watching it and comparing it with KELYB. Because KELYB, it's following in sympathy. It's hard to see it, but they had a wedge right here as well. If it got up over that 45, this could have easily ripped up to 50, and then the next stop for KELYB would have been 75. KELYB loves to rip. If you've been around for a while, you remember KELYB. Epic chart supernova parabolic. Where is it at? I know I have it. Right here. KELYB in the past ran from $28 all the way up to $90. From 9:30, it topped out at 11 o'clock. So for an hour and a half, it ran pretty much $50, $60. This was like last August, October of 2020. I believe so. Yeah. I took that picture August 22nd of 2020. And I'm always preaching that to you guys. These supernova parabolic charts like this, take screenshots of them, document it, learn from it, learn from the past, because history will repeat itself. LIZI, it's got to get through that 50-day moving average on the daily chart at 925. It could pop, but volume is super, super light on it. All it takes is for one big seller to ruin the party for everybody. You see how spotty it is. And when I say spotty, like every candle, you could see there's not really much volatility going on in between some of them. Look at how low volume is. That's where you could see really big, nasty flushes. So it's another thing I wanted to talk about was OTC stocks and pink sheets. I see a lot of new people, and even myself, when you first come into the stock market. Wow, I just seen some news right here. Look at Kim Kardashian is officially a billionaire. She's just now hitting the billionaire status. That's crazy. And real quickly, if we go back to EYES, I told you guys it'd run right back up to the highs. 1050. Did exactly that. That's what we do here. We call out money plays. So Tim Sykes, I want to look him up real quick. I can't even find him. Hold on, let me see if I could find him real quick. I had a good topic I wanted to go over with them. I always see like a lot of students mention him and call him out, saying thanks for all the work that you put in, and I'm prepared and I'm ready to study. I'm going to give it my all. But a lot of these newer people always come into penny stocks. Stocks like, and I wrote some of them down here. EEENF. So if you scroll out on this a penny stock, it ran from fractions of a penny, 0.0086 cent, all the way up to 9 pennies. And then in one day it crashed down from 9 pennies all the way down to 2 pennies. Another stock like INND, moving from 2 pennies all the way up to 3 pennies. So it moved up 1 penny. I've never been a fan of OTC stocks and pink sheet stocks because in my eyes, there's a lot of noobs out here trading this stuff. There's a lot of shady stuff going on with these OTC stocks. They're not regulated. They can go out of business tomorrow. And you really have to load up, buy a lot of shares to make good money. So anytime you have to buy a lot of shares to make good money, your risk only goes up. To make 1 penny on this, you'd have to buy 500,000 shares, 250,000 shares. And what if it starts to fall down? And with OTC stocks, you can't just market order in and market order out. You have to hope that the market maker fills you. Because if a stock's crashing down in OTC land and you're trying to get out, everybody else is trying to get out. And the market maker can choose who he wants to fill. And it's pretty impossible to get out on a penny stock like an OTC stock when it's crashing. They always say try to sell into positive strength. It's much easier to get out. But this is a wild, wild west. And I'd much rather trade stocks that move dollars at a time like SJ. You don't need many shares to make good money. You buy a couple hundred shares, this stock ran up $5. Even a dollar move to the upside with a couple hundred shares, that's a couple $100 in your pocket. And look at how long you have to hold on to these penny stocks in OTC land to even make something. Sometimes you have to hold on to it for multiple days. Like this one moving from 5 pennies. The whole day it ran up and it moved up a penny and a half. And look at how quickly they can crash down on you. Up here to 8.5 pennies and then crashes all the way down to 7 pennies. This is just nasty stuff. I never got into OTC stocks. GLSI. I just seen somebody tweeting about this. If this stock gets up and going, it can get pretty crazy. This stock can definitely hit $75 today. I think we're going to see a lot of low float pump and dumps this month. More than likely, guys, I'm probably done for the day. I don't even want to really risk $15,000. I'm happy with this. Remember, the longer you stick around in the market, the more you put yourself at risk. And then even if you don't scale back with your size and you're up in profit, you could easily give back your profit and then it'll turn into revenge trading. You'll get stubborn and then you'll feel regret. And it could really mess with your head. It really can. Let's say you're up $1,000 on the day, but you got greedy and you wanted to continue to stick around and trade. And EYES set up the best setup. And you go in on it. And it flushes down from $10 to $9. And you jumped in with 1,000 shares. And you just gave it all back. You'd feel pretty upset with yourself. Hey man asks, how do I know when a float has been rotated many, many times and what does it mean for the trade? So float rotation, and I learned this from Nathan from Investors Underground. I'll always give a shout out to whoever I learned from something from. I'm not going to take off with it and say I created it. It's been around. But I learned float rotation from Nathan. And Nathan, he's a good trader. So let's say EYES, the float on it's 6.2 million. Volume on the day is at 31.5 million. All you do is take that float and divide it into the volume on the day. That's how many times they've rotated that stock. So if the float here, 6.2 million. I have to take my calculator sometimes and do this because I'm not good at math. I had somebody comment on one of my videos a while back saying I really needed a calculator to do 1,000 times 1,000. I'm like, yeah, bro. Math ain't my subject. So let's just say it's at 32 million. 32 million. Volume on the day divided by 6. 5.3 times they've rotated that float. So if they've rotated that float 5.3 times, the demand for that stock, always be monitoring that, because remember, it all revolves around supply and demand in the stock market. And the faster they rotate that float throughout the day, I mean, this is why we've seen stocks go parabolic, supernova, like ACY. Look at the moves on that. So ACY ran from $4.50 all the way up to $16. That's a $12 move to the upside in one day. And on this day, what is it? April 1st? So April 1st, that stock did 148 million in volume on this day. So now if we look at the float on ACY, that float is 1.2 million. So 148 million volume on the day. The float is 1.2 million. They've rotated that float 148 times just about. And look at the price action and how much it went up. That's just basic supply and demand. People like to overcomplicate it. They really do. They'll throw on MACD, parabolic SAR squeeze, moving averages, RSI. And it's like, nah, brah. If you just pay attention to price action, volume, how big that float is there a catalyst? It's all revolved around supply and demand. That's how these prices move up and down. Everybody has an Apple. I'd probably say every 2 out of 3 Americans probably have an iPhone. That's just an estimate. And look at how much their stock price is. Everybody knows about Apple. Everybody has an Apple. Supply, the demand. There's a huge demand for Apple. They're up, the stock's all the way up to $126. Everybody buys through Amazon. Everybody. I don't care who you are. Everybody orders through Amazon. Supply and demand. The demand for Amazon, that's why their stock's up at $3,200 a share. Tesla, same thing. That's all the stock market is, supply, demand. So when you have these stocks gapping up, that's why you always look for a good press release to go with it. It's a good press release with keywords in the press release, like cancer, cash, it's a contract winner, any large sum of money, receives, awarded, anything that could draw attention to the stock, more volume to the stock, prices will increase. It's all psychological. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's what I'm all about. Because if you start to overcomplicate things, they call it analysis paralysis. I break that down pretty good? No problem, K-Man. Awesome. Good to hear, Jack Daniel. Jack Daniel says, hey, Mr. Wolf, I just signed up for the YouTube Masterclass. I look forward to learning with you guys. Welcome to the Wolf Pack. We're happy to have you. Just in the video description down below, there should be a link to the Discord. Join the Discord and then send me, Mr. Wolf, a private message with your YouTube username, and we'll unlock the Discord for you. And all you guys brand new out there as well, if you join the Discord, right there, start here, click on that. It'll drop down all these channels here. Make sure you go through all these channels and react to the Me6 bot to get verified, how the membership works, go through and read all this stuff, learn how this server operates and runs. I get so many messages and questions from people. Hey, how do I access the Discord? Did you start in the start here? No. Might be a good spot to start. That's why I have stars on it. Alright, that's everything I wanted to cover, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are kicking off April with a good start. And it's like I just mentioned in the Discord chat today. Ever since we started doing the pre-market prep, I've seen a lot of you guys pulling in more money now and consistently pulling in more money. That's very good. So it just goes to show the pre-market prep is working. Stay on that study grind, guys. Welcome to the community, Jack Daniel. Thanks to the new people who subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you guys, man. Be easy.